Hello, good morning. I'm freezing. I'm always freezing in here. Hi everyone, good morning. Welcome back to my channel if you're new. Hi, I'm Sandra and I'm an illustrator based in Houston, Texas. I am currently about to relaunch, well, it's not really a relaunch, is it? It's like a revamp of my Patreon page. So you might have seen before in my channel, I've talked about I have a Patreon. I make illustrations out of my, or I make products out of my illustrations. I sell them in my shop, but I also have like a snail mail tier that I send stuff in the mail to for patrons. So it wasn't working for me as well as I thought it would when I first started it. So I kind of have been in this weird place of trying to figure out how to adjust what wasn't working. I couldn't really figure out, I couldn't pinpoint what was bothering me about it. And I took some time off for the summer to spend time with my family. So my kids and I went to Florida for a month. My husband joined us just for the final week of that month because he was working. Sadly, he couldn't come with us the whole time, but he came at the end of the month. We spent that final week together, had a great time. But it gave me a chance to put a pause on my Patreon for June and July. And as I was thinking of, was it June and July? No, July and August. And it was giving me sort of an opportunity to think about what really wasn't working, what was really bugging me about it, and I came up with something that I'm kind of scared to do, but I'm going with it anyway. So I'm stripping everything away, streamlining excessively everything that I was doing before, and I'm gonna literally keep it simple to what I love to do, which is paint and label it with my calligraphy. That's simple. So I'm actually looking at an example right here that I made last year. Yeah, last year I went to California for the first time in April. I went with my friend Renee, who's in Boston. Hey Renee, if you ever watch this. And at one point we were at La Jolla Beach and we were walking around. We went to find a little place to have lunch. And then we were walking back towards the beach, and this was the view. I mean, obviously there's tons of other things around. There were cars around, it was a car show, but I just remember thinking, oh, this would be such a cool thing to paint, like capturing this moment, this view, this place. I mean, it would just remind me of, you know, the person we met at the bar, like really fun gentleman who's like a sculptor or something. And, you know, the drinks we had, the food we tasted, everything tasted so delicious. And just the sound of the waves while we were eating, and you know, kids playing outside, and the smell of the ocean, just all those things are encompassed in this painting for me. So basically what I'm doing before I talk forever, because I could do that, I've figured out that if I basically changed my business around so that it kind of centers around this idea, because this is truly my favorite thing, is remembering good times. This is one of the reasons why I can be grateful for everything, even the hard things sometimes, because there's always a purpose for things and they always get you to where you need to be, where you need to go. And so what it took for me to be able to take that trip was a lot of pain, a lot of difficulty to even be able to get there. But being able to be there and appreciate my surroundings, and appreciate, I was only there for 4 days, maybe 4 days. But being able to appreciate that and remember it, like have fond memories of it, I would pay for that. If I could, I would pay for that. So I'm gonna be centering everything around memories, like memories of things that bring you joy, that make you happy, that make you smile. For me, it's a lot of travel. It's a lot of, you know, things from childhood, a lot of fun things. I think for me, they were fun, and I cannot be the only one. So I hope I can show you what it is as I'm going forward. I really want to be able to document it all. I think that has always affected my ability to document things on YouTube, because I didn't know if I wasn't feeling genuine, even though I was honest and open about everything. Like everything that's there is real, that happened, of course, but I wasn't feeling like I knew really what kind of artist I was and what I really wanted to put out in the world. So I was having a hard time talking about it and sharing it because I just felt like I was still figuring it out. But sometimes that's good too. I don't regret any of that because I feel like now I know what I want to do, and I'm no longer at a place where I have to learn how to film, learn how to talk to camera, I don't have to learn the basics anymore. I already know how to do all these things, so I can only improve from here. And hopefully things like this will be, you know, better, because I'm just in love with making this. I love painting. I mean, I love adding little notes, like little titles of my calligraphy off to the side. So that's what I'm doing. I've been working on making it go everywhere. So I want it to be on Patreon, I want it to be on YouTube, I want it to be on Instagram, and even in my shop. And the way I've streamlined everything is I will choose a memory of something, and every month that's what I will be focusing on. So even though my Patreon was on pause for August, I used the month of August while I was on pause to decide what I was making. I got people involved on Instagram, so if you don't follow me there, sometimes I do polls in my stories to just kind of decide certain things like this. I initially did the poll on Patreon, but because I'm on pause, a lot of people aren't really seeing too many of those messages. But I did get a few votes there, and the choice was between memories of New England and memories of Boston. If you've been here long enough, you know I'm from Boston. Adopted Boston. I basically took it over and decided it was my home. But I wasn't born there. But I was in Boston before I moved to Houston, and I've just kind of decided that's where I'm from. And so I love Boston, love the city, love the people, love the food, love everything about it. And I really miss it. I miss not being there. I miss not seeing my friends all the time. I miss just the sounds of the city and just the feeling and the vibes. Obviously I miss the fall, not the winter so much, but definitely I miss the fall, and I just kind of the atmosphere. So I thought it would be fitting to start with one of these, and everybody voted for Memories of Boston. So I made some paintings. I'm gonna give you some snippets. By the time you see this, this will probably already be on Patreon, because I'm not sure when I'm gonna edit and post this, but I can show you what I've already painted. There might be a glimpse of something that I've made. I did one of these illustrations as a live stream on Instagram. I kind of started it, and then I did a second one that I had already sketched, and then I painted on Instagram Live, and the others I did off screen. So no one's seen this except patrons, because I sent them like pictures, like snippets of the in progress and then the finished work. So I'm gonna show you what I've made, and then today I'm working on the last one. So I've got 4 that I've already painted. So the first one is clam chowder. Because you cannot go to Boston in the fall and not try clam chowder. It is the most hearty, the most delicious soup you'll ever try. So good. So this was one sheet. I just cut it in 2 because I painted them too close together, but it's okay because I'm gonna scan these in to make the finished product, which I'll tell you about. So the first piece is clam chowder. The next is this one, which was like that. I just got it. This is Faneuil Hall, and this is one of this, I guess, the most recognizable iconic buildings in the city. I couldn't tell you specifically what it is, like historically speaking, but right behind it here is Quincy Market, and that's like one of the biggest farmers market that I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, it's a giant building that basically looks like this old Roman or Greek building. It's open to people to sell their goods, and people come on weekends and they buy soup and they buy all kinds of stuff. It's massive, and as long as I lived in Boston and Massachusetts in general, I don't think I've ever been strong enough to actually walk through that on a day when everything's going on, but I've been around it, so I've seen the chaos and the traffic. Next up, I painted the T, which is that little T, which is the preferred mode of transportation in the city. So this is the green line. The green line has like multiple letters. That's the C line that goes to Cleveland Circle, but there is a B1, there's an E1, there's a D1, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to look all this up and confirm. Obviously I've been gone 10 years from Boston, but I found out while I was researching pictures to use as reference that the green line is actually the oldest line in Boston, so it was fitting to use the green line, because also there's a lot of green in Boston, things like Celtics, like the Green Monster at Fenway Park. So anyway, green line is not just a good memory for me, it's in general, it's a very Boston thing. Sorry, my printer has decided to interrupt us. Okay, it's good. So it's also a cool memory for me just because I took the green line to go to school, and I also took the green line to get home. I used to live in Medford, so it had the green and orange line. I had to change trains at North Station. I often took the green line home, or the orange line, mostly the orange line. If you've been to Boston or you are from Boston or close by, like, this is iconic, like everyone knows what this is. And the next one is a partial skyline view, and I only just grabbed 3 of the buildings that I saw all the time. It is not to scale. There's a huge gap between these 2 buildings, but I went to school at the Boston Architectural College, which is literally across the street from the Pru, which is this building here, the Prudential Tower. Back there is the Prudential Center where all the shopping happens, and then this is the John Hancock Tower, or the Hancock, and I worked roughly around here on the 30-something floor for about 8 months. And so I love this building. When I first moved to Boston, when I first visited Boston the year before I moved there, just driving to the city and seeing this building that looked like it was transparent, because it has reflective glass, so on a very clear blue day it's like it's not there because it's just reflecting the sky, so it just looks like it's all blue and it looks like you're seeing a mirage, but it's actually a building there. It is so cool. And I just fell in love with this building. So when I got a job from a temp agency and they sent me there, I was just like, I'll take it. I don't even need to know how much they pay. I'll take it just so I can get into the building. It was really fun. And so today I'm gonna be painting a Dunkin' Donuts cup, which I've already sketched. I don't know if they still do this because we don't use foam cups anymore, but at the time the only way to drink Dunkin' Ice is you get an iced coffee, but you get it in a hot cup, because you don't need your fingers to be cold when it's winter out there. You can still hold your cup. Also, nobody likes condensation leaking in their cup holders, so this is how we do this. So I'm gonna paint this today, so I figured I would take you along. So this video is probably not gonna be too much longer than this. It would just be me working on this, and then next week I'll show you how I assembled everything to make it into the snail mail that will end up being what I call Sandra mail for the physical snail mail tier of my Patreon, and I can tell you more about Patreon at that point, but everything is linked anyway below. They're always linked under my videos, so you can always go. Right now I've already updated everything. I've changed the name, like I've changed the names of all my tiers, I've changed the setup, I've upgraded all of the imagery, like everything now fits this kind of feeling and vibe. I've also adjusted the color, so I still have my signature turquoise and minty teal colors everywhere. I've just swapped from using it with more lighter and brighter colors, like the peachy color and the purpley color that I used to have, like that lavender. Now it's more nostalgic because that's kind of what I'm going for here. So it's more browns, but like light beiges, neutrals that kind of go with almost the similar colors as these two. So if this is the kind of thing you love, and if you're somebody who loves to collect things, collect memories, who loves to keep little, I don't know, tags from things when you travel, like ticket stubs from trains or movies, and wrappers from, like, I don't know, whatever, from places that you've been, and like to collect them in like memory books or journals. I'm hoping this stuff is gonna be more for you. I completely understand that there's a ton of people that followed so far that are not into this, but this is really, really me, and so I have to just do me. I have to just go with the things that I enjoy and that I love, and I hope to find kindred spirits out there that enjoy the same and that would be eager to look at what it is that I'm creating. So I will let you know the next time people have a vote. I will try to put one in the comments here. I think there's a community section where I can also do polls. The first of everything will always be on Patreon. That's the exclusive place. But if you're following on Instagram, usually by the next day or 2 days after Patreon, I usually put it on Instagram, so you'll always find out there. And then if I can hopefully get back to filming and editing and posting weekly on YouTube, you would find out like the following week when it happens. So hopefully you don't miss anything. But again, you can join Patreon for free. You have the option to just do a free, what is it called, membership, but you're literally just following. And anytime I do a public post, which right now is once a month or twice a month, I think, you will still know what's going on. You'd be able to see it without ever having to pay for anything. And if you find something that you like Members of Boston might not be for you, but maybe the next one that I'm gonna do will be for you, and then you can decide to pay for that month or not. So that's kind of how all that stuff's gonna work. So I'm gonna go and paint. This was kind of a mini introduction, a reintroduction slash, I don't know, pre-launch chat. But I'm gonna work on this now, and maybe I'll just come back to close out the video, and I'll talk to you next time, I think. Okay, I'm pretty much done with the Dunkin' Donuts cup. This is what I normally get. It's the Dunkin' Iced Caramel Swirl Cream and Sugar in a hot cup. But there's been, I'm sure, like a whole thing about the hot cups, and like I said, foam, we don't do foam anymore. But I'm pretty sure if I went back today, they're still held in the hot cup. We'll find out. I'll ask my friend who's still there. Yeah, so the last piece I'm gonna do, I probably won't do it today. I'm gonna go ahead and edit this video and try to schedule it for sometime this week, so it'll probably be like the end of the week by the time you see this. So in the next video, which is hopefully in a week or two, like the week after, I should be already creating the snail mail. If I hadn't already made it, I would have made it, but I'll show you how it turns out. And I'm probably gonna either make the stickers myself or order them, and I'll basically choose out of these which ones I'm gonna turn into stickers. I kind of already have my heart set on a couple, but maybe I'll find out what people think. And some of these will also go in my shop afterwards. So for example, I'm not gonna be able to sell the Dunkin' Donuts, so already, unless I remove like their logo on here, I wouldn't be selling that in my shop, because obviously that's not my brand to sell. So I might hide it, like I might hide the cup in Photoshop. Obviously I'm gonna have to do this, but I might place this cup like behind the soup bowl or something so that it basically hides their logo and make that into one illustration. I don't know yet what's gonna happen with this. Obviously it's still the end of August. It's August 29th right now. I have a couple more days before my Patreon sort of resumes, and these don't need to be fully finished before September, but I'd like them to be done so that I can design even like a mock-up version of what the finished product will be, so I can send it when the month starts, to let everyone know what the snail mail is for the month. So if they're interested in it, they can sign up knowing what they're signing up for, versus starting the month and then deciding within the month what I'm doing and then having like a week to create it, like sketch it out, create it, record about it. It was a lot. I was doing too much too late, I think. So the fact that I'm nearly done and it's the 29th, I'm shocked, but I'm so grateful that I was able to come up with the idea, design it, set it up, paint most of this. I could be done here, but there's one iconic thing that I cannot leave out. I have to make it, so I will be back next week to show you how it all turned out. If you want to be more, I guess, on time with what you're seeing, like I said, you can join Patreon for free. I'll probably explain more about it. I just want to give myself a little bit of time to actually test this out, to make sure it works the way that I wanted to get myself really accustomed to how I'm doing things now. So probably in a couple of months I'll kind of update my Patreon video. It's weird because I just updated it again recently, but that is the reality of this journey. I'm always glad to be back. I love being on YouTube. I miss it when I'm not here. So let me know what you think if you get a chance to. Thanks again for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, please give me a like, subscribe. It'll help me to make more and it'll help other people find me. Hopefully I can grow a community of people who love art and who love to collect nostalgic memories like I do. So that's it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.